Well, it's kind of interesting because when something like this happens to you at a young age, you're not quite deciphering it as a disability. You're not kind of thinking, ah, I am losing my hearing, therefore I am now in the world of deafness. That isn't really how it worked for me, because I still hearing and I still a hearing person even with hearing aids, and I didn't see myself as a deaf person for a number of years down the road. And so because there was this sort of fairly normal, no nonsense, let's not make a mountain out of a moleheap kind of thing, it meant that I just carried on in a fairly natural way. But I think what is important was that I went to a primary school that was so tiny. It only had about 37 pupils in the whole school and two teachers, so they could keep a good eye on every single pupil. And the relationship between families and schools in those days was very, very fluent indeed. And the community really had a fairly strong family network. It wasn't so separated, sporadic, fractioned, as it were, as we often see nowadays. So that communication between the school and families was really, really important. And that was really how my situation was detected, actually, with the school telling my parents, I think we need to have a little look at what's going on here. And so, yeah, I think really what I discovered during the loss of my hearing was that I was quite happy on my own. I was quite happy with my own company, and I felt very comfortable being on my own. I loved being with other people, but I wasn't sad or lonely if I was on my own. And this was quite a revelation for me because a lot of my exploration with sound was done by myself. And it meant that as I was losing my hearing, the relationship to the sound world on the farm was also something I digested myself. And so having that kind of environment, I might have a very different relationship to myself with the things I do if I grew up in a busy city, but because I had the space and the space to physically and mentally, just it's almost like having the bellows, and you're like, where you could find your foot, as it were, your footing. That was very important for me to just move forward at my own pace, and not be influenced by what other people were saying, what other people were doing. I mean, we didn't have the internet in those days, so it was an awful lot about listening to yourself.